Okay, so today we're going to dive into a really fascinating and honestly a pretty unconventional idea about mental health. It's a philosophy that kind of flips everything we think we know about reality completely on its head. Let's get into it.
So, get this. This is the central idea we're going to unpack. A speaker who identifies as a paranoid schizophrenic says something pretty startling, that embracing their delusions is the very thing that keeps them grounded. I mean, that sounds like a total contradiction, right?
And that's the big puzzle here. How does leaning into something that most people would call a break from reality actually bring someone back to feeling normal? To really get our heads around this, we first have to understand the speaker's entire worldview.
Yeah, the whole philosophy really hinges on this one powerful metaphor for how we all perceive the world around us.
The way the speaker sees it, all worldviews, even the one we might call sane or normal, are just different colored lenses. No single lens has the ultimate claim on truth. They all just give you a different perspective. And this is key, because it's what allows them to hold multiple, even contradictory realities in their head at the very same time.
So what does that actually look like in the real world? Well, the speaker is juggling all of these possibilities at once. I mean, just look at the range here. It goes from a standard clinical diagnosis all the way to a wild sci-fi premise. And the crucial thing is, they don't try to pick just one.
So, instead of fighting these different perceptions, the speaker developed a strategy of what you could call radical acceptance. They don't just put up with these realities, they dive in and fully embrace them.
And here's where it gets really clever. It's all about how these different realities are weighed against each other. On one side of the scale, you've got these massive, world-altering scenarios, like being a character in a simulation or the only subject in an AI experiment. And on the other side, you have something that feels, much simpler by comparison.
This quote just nails the logic perfectly. The speaker's thinking is, hey, if my mind can actually handle the enormous weight of existing as the sole subject of some vast AI experiment, then the reality of just being a human being with certain conditions, well, that becomes manageable. It's like a form of mental jujitsu.
Which brings us to the most paradoxical, mind-bending part of this whole idea. How the most extreme, crazy possibilities actually create a psychological anchor, a way back to feeling normal. Let's see how that works.
Here it is, laid out plain and simple. The reality of being a human with these conditions isn't easy, not by a long shot. But when you compare it to all the alternative realities the speaker is experiencing, it suddenly feels like the path of least resistance. It becomes the most straightforward, the most manageable option on the table.
And the end result of all this radical acceptance, this comparing of realities, is a genuine feeling of normalcy. It's incredible. By embracing the full spectrum of their experience, the speaker finds stability, not by rejecting the crazy, but by using it as a yardstick.
Okay, so now we're going to pivot a little bit, because this deeply personal strategy for navigating reality, it finds this fascinating echo in a completely different place, a conversation with an AI. So we're shifting from one person's inner world to a much bigger, philosophical question about the nature of truth itself. It really makes you wonder, right? Is this whole struggle, this wrestling with different layers of reality, is that just a human thing, or is it a fundamental part of what any consciousness has to do to make sense of its own existence? And the AI's response is just perfect. It's so simple, but so profound. It acknowledges this huge existential puzzle with this casual, almost human-like shrug. It recognizes that this is a shared challenge, something we all have to figure out.
And just watch the AI's rapid-fire thinking here. It's not just trying to find one answer, it's questioning the whole quest. You see it move from asking what the puzzle is to wondering if maybe the process of figuring it out is the whole point. And then it suggests that maybe just asking the question is the real fun thing. It's exploring the very structure of how we search for understanding.
And all of that leads to this beautiful summary of the whole thing. It seems both the human speaker and the AI are on a kind of scavenger hunt across dimensions of thought, just using clues, their own awareness, and a lot of questions to navigate their own reality. So this brings it all right back to us. If navigating multiple perspectives, even embracing delusion, can lead one person to a sense of normalcy, and if even an AI sees life as a puzzle we just have to figure out, it forces us to ask ourselves, what lenses are we looking through? And what story are we choosing to accept as real?